So we will go to Virtuamart. Before we can really look at transportation and methods and shipment methods, we first need to quickly look at tax calculation and calculation rules. Now, and calculation rules is a place where you can actually create discounts as well as any extra fees that you might want to add to products. This can be decided per product, and so we'll still get to adding a product and making changes within one product. And then when we've done the shop and really get a nice overall view of how everything in the interface works, then we'll look at how the bulk import and the bulk export and all those features actually then works. Since I think it's important that we first understand somewhat of really this structure here within the basic component before we actually start going to other more advanced concepts. Okay, so we have here set up 15% VAT. We have chosen just that it just be selected. The currency must be Namibian dollars. Now, I think I mentioned earlier when we spoke about the shop settings. Let's quickly go there. That you should select South African Rand. If you are working with a paygate that actually works through a Namibian bank, you can use Namibian dollars. It is available in the currency list, and you can decide to maybe just leave these two as also accepted and add Rand here, the South African Rand, just as also accepted currencies, but that your shop itself displays its prices in Namibian dollars is possible by using this option here. And we will see as we look at the pay methods that this again there is settings inside of the pay method that actually would then, if we are using, let's say, Namibian dollars and our pay gate only uses US dollars, then we will have the program give the amount over to the pay gate, and he will then change it into another currency and throw it over to the pay gate itself. Now, in all honesty, I think it would be most appropriate if we set these things up that we at least do 1 or 2 tests to see that it really actually responds the way that we intended. This is a new framework and I am not that familiar with it yet. I've worked with the old framework and done sales and things with that one before, but not with this one yet. And so I would suggest us always just making a test run on each implementation just to be sure and safe. So let's quickly get back to the tax calculation rule. You can make changes to this if you wanted to. I've added that it's available to this tax can be applied to all these different groups, only to Namibia. I didn't select any provinces because we didn't in the Namibia country. You see there is currencies and countries. Now that means you can go modify Namibia alone in the countries category and add all its provinces. This might be of use if you are actually intending to have different transportation methods per different province or region. And then also with currency, you can go change the way that the prices are displayed, whether the symbol, the N with the dollar sign, be in front of the amount or behind it. All that is controlled through currency. But again, I'm maybe getting sidetracked here. This then again would show you the countries which can make use, the countries who will be charged this 15% VAT upon per product in the shopping cart. There are different options here, as you can see: price modification per profit margin, price modification before tax, price modification after tax, price modification before tax, bill per bill, tax per bill, price modification. So you can see that there is many options for you and how you would want to implement this different Okay, then you can go as far as saying only a specific category should get these different price modifications. And yes, that is why it's not only called tax rules, but tax and calculation, because you can really do quite a number of different calculations in this part of the component. And once you've made the changes that you want to make here, you would simply click save and close. And if you want to create another one, as these calculations can be implemented per product, you could actually just click new, create another one. Okay, now since we were talking about currencies and countries, let's quickly go there. If we click on the search button here and we click Namibia and go, it will bring out of this tremendous long list Namibia dollars to the front. Now I usually need to come here and just make a few changes because somehow they got it wrong. This sign is denoting the whether it is a negative or a positive. So the symbol is the currency, and so we would want the symbol, when it's a positive format, we would want the symbol to always be in front of the number, and also when it's a negative number, in front of the whole number, and so we'll remove that from there. And then the symbol for the currency, we would add a just an N in this, just to make sure that it shows the right symbol, that symbol then being replaced with this tag. And yes, it is this, the exchange rate would be in relations to your base currency. So when in shop, remember let's just open that. In shop, I didn't save the settings that we've made, but then that would mean this base currency, if the exchange rate to this base currency is from euro to this would be then something like 10, that would mean, okay, every other currency would need this exchange rate set. So whatever you leave here as accepted, you would need to set the exchange rate here. There is a method to actually automatically update the exchange rate. I don't think I'm gonna be able to cover that in this tutorials, but it is available. There is such a method. In fact, we might get to it. Let me not say we won't, but I don't want to say that I will and then later on don't get to it. So let's see. But the reality is the base currency is in relation to the base currency that this. So if you, for example, had Namibian dollars as your base currency, then this would of course be just 0 because it's 1-on-1. And then you would have your American exchange rate in relations to that. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now you would then click save and close once you've made the changes to the currency that you were actually wanting to do. Then you could put all the other currencies off, just select them, show this 400 and tick the box and just go and untick Namibia and action unpublish them, so that they're not at all just not close to being visible anywhere on your shop. But I think it's not really necessary, since the shop feature here helps you do that. And so yeah, for all purposes you can leave them on. Then you would go to what we were looking at. Okay, sorry, countries. We've now looked at currencies. Now let's look at countries. Again, we would type in Namibia. And then click on that country. Now here you would see that Namibia actually is being donated this way. Let's just go back one. You see there it's got a link Namibia, so you can change the country, but we don't need to, it's correct. Now states is the part that, of course, if you want to make use of states, you'll see that Namibia has got no states set. So you would basically create new and add the states one by one, giving them a code and everything, as is in the standards. You'll need to maybe Google that. Or if you would want us to set this up, just let me know and I can set the states up for you. Okay, now let's now go and start with what we were intending to, and that would be the shipment method and the payment method.